All right, this is section 1.5, number 1. We're going to be solving linear equations. Okay, so our first question, we have 23 minus 7/8x equals negative 7/8x plus 23. Okay, so one thing I will do is combine the numbers first to get them on one side. So I will subtract 23 from both sides since that's positive. This will go to 0, bring down my negative 7/8x equals negative 7/8x, and that also cancels. All right, from here you notice that they're both the same, but if you want to go through the solving process, there's one of two things you can do. You can add this over. Since they both have the same denominator, you can add those fractions, which may be, a bit of a challenge for some, but if you don't want to add them, you can see they both have the same denominator. We can multiply and get rid of the fraction. So since they're being divided by 8, we can multiply by 8, which is totally acceptable. We're going to multiply by 8 on both sides. When we multiply by 8, it cancels out the division by 8. So we end up with just negative 7x. Same thing happens over here. We end up with negative 7x. And then from this point, we're going to move all the x's to one side. You have to get all the variables on one side or the other. So I'm going to add 7x to both sides. And then that cancels out to 0 equals 0. So this is one of those special cases. All of my variables canceled out. I ended up with a true statement. So this means I have all real numbers as my solution. Any number that I plug in for x will make this a true statement. The solution is all real numbers. All right, number 2, we have 3/7 minus 8x equals negative 8x plus 5/7. Okay, so this time I'm going to go ahead and add those fractions since they have the same denominator. Okay, because that's the only way you can add fractions together. This one is positive. I want to move it over here. So I'm going to subtract 3/7, okay, from both sides. So that's 3/7. All right. So when I subtract, the same thing, it goes away to 0. Bring down negative 8x equals negative 8x. And when I subtract this, I only subtract the top number. So 5 minus 3 will leave me with a positive 2/7. Okay, so I'll leave that there for the time being. Now I'm going to combine my x terms. So I'm going to add 8x to both sides. Adding 8x, well, both will cancel out to be 0. So I have 0 equals 2/7. All right, so my variable canceled out completely again. This, however, is a false statement. This is not true. So that means I will have no solution. That's the symbol for no solution. No matter what value I pick for x, it will not work.